Madrimov has tremendous footwork, he's elusive, his defense is good, he punches really, really, really hard. But we understand, we're up against the pound for pound number one. The guy's a genius.
Israil, the best 154 pounder in the division right now. So why not go for the top guy in the division right off the bat?
Boxing pros have announced their picks for the upcoming Terence Crawford versus Israil Madrimov fight on August 3rd, a highly anticipated bout for the WBA and WBO interim world super welterweight title. Talking about it, Alalshik said, "We want to give people around the world the opportunity to enjoy their own Riyadh season experience, and this is exactly what we hope to achieve by staging this and also future events around the world." Eddie Hearn, chairman of Matchroom Sport, praised the fight between a pound-for-pound great and a world champion in the sport, acknowledging Crawford's status as a pound-for-pound great. He noted Crawford faces a hungry champion who plans to defend his title in his first defense. Hearn said, "Terence is a pound-for-pound great and continues to strive to be the very best, but in Israel, he meets a hungry champion that has no intention of relinquishing his title in his first defense. This promises to be one of the fights of the year. The undercard has to be one of, if not the best we have ever seen for a US card. Get ready for a huge night on August 3rd in Los Angeles." Crawford's TKO victory over Errol Spence Jr. in 2023 saw him crowned as the undisputed welterweight champion and the first male boxer to become an undisputed champion in 2 weight divisions. Should he win all 4 belts at super welterweight, he will become the first ever boxer to become a 3-division undisputed king. He said in an interview, "There's potentially 2 belts on the line. If Sebastian Fundora doesn't fight me after this, I'm the WBO and WBA champion. If he does fight me, then that's 3 belts on the line. There's only 1 more to capture after that. So potentially 2 or 3 fights. That's undisputed." After dominating the welterweight division, he is now moving up to 154 pounds. Crawford has previously dominated the super lightweight and lightweight divisions. Crawford said, "I cannot wait to get back in the ring in my 4th weight class and remind the world why I'm the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Israil Madrimov is a tremendous and entertaining fighter, but on August 3rd, he will be my next victim. This is the Terence Crawford era." Terence Crawford is confident and determined to face Israil Madrimov in his 4th weight class, aiming to reaffirm his world-class status as the best pound-for-pound fighter. He acknowledges Madrimov's skills and entertainment value, but plans to add him to his list of defeated opponents.
You know, I want to leave a legacy that's never been left before. You know, inside and outside the ring, business minded, just helping the young fighters coming up, you know, giving them the courage and the outlet that the fighters before me never gave to us.
However, the promoter acknowledged the elite skill set of the former 2-division undisputed champion and dubbed him the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Hearn said, "The pound-for-pound #1. But I will say this, Madrimov is the best 154 pounder in the world. I really believe that. Terence comes straight out the gate. He wanted all the champions. Every fighter gets old. Every fighter steps 1 weight class too many. Can it be? Madrimov has tremendous footwork. He's elusive. His defense is good. He punches really, really hard. But we understand. We're up against the P4 P01. Crawford marks the start of the Terence Crawford era in boxing, aiming to dominate the sport. However, Uzbek champion Madrimov faces formidable competition in his inaugural title defense. Madrimov won the vacant title in Riyadh in March, extending his unbeaten streak in professional boxing and building on his amateur career. Madrimov said, "Terence Crawford is one of my favorite boxers and one of the best boxers in the world. I am very excited to get this opportunity to make a statement, and I will, inshallah." The undercard features Isaac Cruz, the newly crowned WBA super lightweight champion, defending his title against American southpaw Jose Valenzuela. Sean Gibbons from MP Promotions said, "It's been nearly 2 years since Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the face of Mexico boxing, has had a fight in Los Angeles. But thanks to Turki Alalshik, Isaac's first world title defense will be a homecoming in front of the biggest Mexican fan base in the US." Tim Tszyu, who is featured on the card, looked super excited for the event. He also thanked Turki Alalshik for making this possible. He posted, "So refreshing to see all promoters working with each other to make the biggest fights happen. Thank you to Turki Alalshik." Sam Jones also believes that this card is one of the best to ever happen in the United States. He thinks it's the best card in the last 20 years for the United States and credits Turki Alalshik for changing the boxing scene.
Let's talk about some fights that have just been announced. I want to touch on it abroad. Terence Crawford, I mean, Eddie Hearn said one of the best US, no, he said the best US card that's ever been. Do you concur with that? It's an unbelievable card.
It's the best card I've seen in recent memory, definitely in the US. It's definitely the best card in the last 20 years. But this is what happens when all promoters work together. other, and when people don't try and shut themselves off from other promoters and try and block other promoters, this is what fucking happens, isn't it? You get great cards, and long may it continue. And listen, Turkey Al Sheikh has changed the game.
Mike Coppinger thinks that Crawford versus Israil is a tremendous fight, which is supported by an equally tremendous undercard. He posted, Terence Crawford and Israil Madrimov is a tremendous fight and supported by an unbelievable undercard. First Saudi boxing event outside the kingdom. Israil Madrimov is considering using his title victory to defeat Crawford in the upcoming fight. ProBox TV analysts Teddy Atlas and Paulie Malignaggi predict an upset will depend on Crawford's decline, as he turns 37 a month after the bout. Malignaggi said, at this time, you can always age overnight. Guys just show up older. You consider that in the Madrimov fight. Teddy Atlas compared facing Crawford to a sausage grinder, stating that age and diminished skills could potentially defeat him. Atlas clarified that these concerns are not related to Crawford's weight gain or fight history. Atlas said, it's like going into a sausage grinder. Crawford's going to grind you up with counterpunches. Age and slowed skills are the only things I see beating Crawford. It's not linked to moving up in weight. Atlas assesses boxers based on punch count and fight toughness, deeming Crawford fresh and not expecting any issues. Atlas added, and he doesn't have a lot of miles on the odometer. I judge a guy by the amount of punches he's taken, by how many tough fights he's been in. He's still fresh. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Madrimov, trained by undefeated champion Dmitry Bivol and former unified junior featherweight title holder Murajan Akhmadaliev in Coachella Valley, California, has made a remarkable journey to world title holder. Malignaggi said, Madrimov is rough around the edges and can give you a rough time. He's a new champion and he's going to be hungry and wanting to create a bigger name for himself and his legacy. Crawford would be a huge feather to have in his hat, but if Madrimov is going to have a chance, he has to hope Crawford has lost a few steps. Atlas compared Crawford's speed and skills to Michael Jordan's basketball game pace control, stating that Madrimov's main challenge would be Crawford's speed and ability to slow down a fight. Atlas responded, the problem for Madrimov is going to be speed and all the elements Crawford brings. He's got good eyes, good timing. He's so calm that he slows the fight down like Michael Jordan would slow the game down. Atlas acknowledged Madrimov's amateur experience, physical strength, and technical proficiency, but also noted his predictability. He approaches opponents head-on, targeting the body, but Atlas feared his slow feet and hands might hinder his fight against Crawford. Atlas continued, I've watched Madrimov, and yeah, he's a real experienced amateur, and yeah, he's physically strong, and yeah, he's technically solid, but he's also predictable. He comes at you straight on, uses his physicality, goes to the body. His feet and his hands are too slow. Both of those will conspire against him. Showbiz the Adult highlighted the knockout power of Madrimov and believes that it could be a problem for Terence Crawford on the fight night.
Madrimov, straightforward slugger. Big punches and big hooks. No special effects. Nothing like the fighters Terence Crawford slaughtered. Nothing like the Mean Machine. Nothing like David Evanesian. He's not a straightforward seek and destroy fighter like Errol Spence, who Crawford destroyed. Nothing like that. This guy, Madrimov, totally different when it comes to styles. I really fear for Terence Buck.
Eddie Hearn believes Israil Madrimov presents the most significant challenge for Terence Crawford, who may need to adjust his fighting style due to Madrimov's discipline and harder punch. Crawford, who has maintained a high level of performance, may be feeling the effects of age catching up to him, as few fighters of his age can maintain such high levels. Hearn said, my man here is going to derail the plans. Honestly, don't bet against Israil Madrimov. This is a very tough fight. I think this is going to be the toughest fight for Terence Crawford's career so far, because he is a young world champion, a strong world champion, and a prime world champion. Crawford, unlike Spence, will face significant challenges against Madrimov. Madrimov is less unpredictable and has a strong punch. He's not suffering from weight drain or a 17-month break like Spence, and is not entering the fight after a 200-pound camp. According to Hearn, His Excellency has taken a shine to Terence Crawford, and he's taken a shine to Jaron Ennis because he knows his boxing and knows how good those guys are. So, for me, that's one of the biggest fights in the sport. But let's see Madrimov against Crawford first. We'll see how the year progresses. Madrimov is considered the most formidable puncher Crawford has faced at 154, surpassing any opponent he has faced. Crawford's record is mainly B-level fighters, but Spence and Sean Porter are the toughest adversaries on Crawford's record, but it's unlikely they could outmatch Madrimov. Hearn deemed Madrimov the top 154 pounder globally, and Terence Crawford is eager to face all champions. Hearn noted that fighters age and move up in weight class as they age.
I mean, the pound for pound number one, But I will say this, Madrimov is the best 154 pounder in the world. I really believe that. And, Terence comes straight out the gate, and he wanted all the champions. But they know they can make Madrimov. His Excellency reached out to me. We made the fight, the main event on a huge card. As I said to him, every fighter gets old. Every fighter steps one weight class too many. Can it be?
Hearn praised Madrimov's skills, including footwork, elusive movements, defense, and powerful punches, but acknowledged the challenge against Crawford, describing him as a genius and highlighting his achievements as an undisputed champion at 140 and 147 pounds. Hearn expressed satisfaction with working with Crawford, intending to break his heart and Bomac while respecting Crawford's team and excited for the upcoming massive show.
You know what I mean? Undisputed at 40, undisputed at 47, trying to be undisputed at 57. You may look back as the greatest fighter across our generation. So a pleasure to be working with Terence again. He broke my heart with Ricky Burns many years ago in Glasgow. He broke our hearts against Ndongo to win undisputed. And now it's time to break his heart and Bomac. Respect to their team. Just buzzing for a massive show.
Trainer Andre Rozier is siding with Terence Crawford if he and Jaron Boots Ennis ever fight in the future. Rozier likes the knockouts that Crawford scores and points out that he's stopped everyone he's faced since moving up to 147 in 2018. Rozier said to Fight Hype about IBF welterweight champion Jaron Boots Ennis signing with Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, who hopefully will keep him busy. He added, "He's not fighting, he can't progress. He's a world champion, but nobody to dance with. So I think at least with Eddie Hearn, he'll get that work he needs." Andre believes that Boots Ennis could be fighting in July against Cody Crowley, if the fight gets made. Assuming it does, we'll see what Hearn has next for Boots. He wants to match him against the other welterweight champions Mario Barrios and Imantas Stanionis. He stated, "Without a doubt, I got Terence Crawford at 154 now. Boots is the only one I can see, but I'm with TC all the way. I'm with Terence Crawford all the way." The boxing community eagerly awaits the outcome of this clash, which promises not only to be a defining moment in both fighters' careers, but also a monumental event that could shape the landscape of the sport for years to come. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.